Okay, so we're doing Ted's like first off-leash work as a older dog. It's been a while since I posted any videos with Ted. You'll remember he was there as a little puppy. I have a lot of videos of him as a little puppy with his sister doing off-leash walking. But now that he's getting a little bit older, he's getting a little bit more independent. He's going to be needing some actual training instead of just walking for recall. You'll find that as your dogs get to be 6, 7, 8 months old, they start to become independent of you, and they start to think that they're gods of the world and they can wander off and run off and do whatever they want to do. So that's when things start getting a little bit tricky when it comes to recall training specifically. All the other dogs are complaining because they want to be out walking. But so yeah, well, today we're using an e-collar. But I want to point out, this is my e-collar. He has it on his neck. Today we're only going to be stimulating with the vibration. There's going to be no stimulation with the electricity part, the shock collar part, as people say it. The stimulation is only going to be coming from vibration. Ted is a soft dog. I don't really care what other people who use e-collars think. Some of my dogs are soft, and they do not react well to harsh punishment. Now, he doesn't realize that I'm the one stimming him. He has no idea where it's coming from. All I want him to know is that the stimulation that for him is uncomfortable, which will be vibration, means to come back to me. And I'm going to combine that with saying his name and telling him to come, so that he realizes that if I don't come, I get this uncomfortable sensation. Like, watch, I'll vibrate him now without saying his name. That was just vibrate. See how soft he is? He comes right back to me because we've been working on it a little bit. He realizes that when he feels the uncomfortable stimulation, he comes back to me. Now, if you saw how soft he was as I vibrated, imagine his reaction if I actually shocked him, right? It's important to do this all based off of your dog, specifically understanding your dog. Some dogs, like Ted, need very little. Other dogs are going to need maybe the whole thing. Maybe they'll need the whole thing. My dog Boomer is like that. He'll just sit there and look at me with his neck twitching. He does not care. It doesn't bother him. It doesn't faze him. Some dogs are like that. Other dogs are like this, where you just need the slightest tap of a vibration. He realizes that's really uncomfortable and I don't like that. And the way that I get that to go away is coming to me. So then we're going to combine that with his name, Ted, come. And then he starts learning, without me having to use this, he will learn Ted, come means avoid uncomfortable situations and do what I'm asked to do, which is come to my owner, which is me. So we'll get him a little bit away and we'll combine that a little bit. Ted, come. No stimulation needed, right? I didn't have to stim him that time. I don't stim my dog. Some people do it all the time. Some people do it whenever. I don't ever do it unless there's that hesitation. If they come right to me, they don't get stemmed. As far as I'm concerned, doing what I'm asking, there's no need for any type of correction, positive or negative correction. I'm not saying that one way is right or one way is wrong. That's just the way I do it. If I go, Ted, come, why would I stim him for coming right back to me? It doesn't make sense. So he's learning, right? And then maybe you do this for a while and eventually he'll start getting wise to it and he might test the waters, and you'll see instantly, because he comes instantly, right? As soon as I say Ted, come, he's looking at me and he's coming because he's worried about the stimulation that he's going to get. So if you I don't even remember what I was saying now. Oh, so yeah, I don't believe in doing. You'll see when they give you that look like, maybe I'll just do my own thing. Maybe I won't listen this time. And that's when you give it to them again and they get a reminder. Ted, come. Good boy. Which is one of the things is then you get into the pros and cons of always having an e-collar on your dog, since you always have the ability to reach out and correct them. Because you never know when a dog, no matter how well trained, might get wise to it, might think it has its own agenda. It might think that what it's doing is more important. It might get far away where it thinks it's good, a little bit further away. Sometimes it's harder to recall. It might see a prey animal or any animal or a person and think, oh, I'm going to go after that. I'm going to go say hi to that person. I'm going to chase that squirrel. And you need to be able to correct them. So this is just the way that I use an e-collar. And very rarely and seldomly do I use it. Like, this is mostly demonstration. I really haven't needed to use it this whole time. I just did the vibrations to show you guys that he doesn't need a call, because he understands what that means. And I only use an e-collar for recall. I will say this, because I only have 20 seconds left of video left on my phone. I'm going to delete a bunch of stuff. But I will say this tool absolutely can be used to abuse an animal, and absolutely can be used wrong. Know your animal, hire a trainer, follow lots of people on YouTube who do it different ways. Okay, so I got cut off mid-sentence there. I don't remember where I was, but I just went back and deleted video right on my walk here so I could finish that point, because it's very important. Do research, learn. This isn't something that you go into Tractor Supply or Walmart or wherever, or Amazon, you buy it, you slap it on your dogs, and you start shocking them. It's something that it's a knack. It takes time. It's different for every dog. You'll get used to what your dog specifically needs. And yeah, I think that's very important to stress when doing a video like this, is the way that I do this may not be the way that you do this, or other people. It may be different. It may be better. It may be worse. It's going to be different for every dog. But absolutely do not use this tool to overly discipline your animal, to hurt your animal, to harm your animal. Do not leave these on your animals full time. They can get hot spots. They can get other things wrong with them. And I'm speaking from experience, not personally, but of people that I know. I would never use these to correct a dog. Well, anyways, I'm not going to get too far into it, because you need to do your own research. I am not an expert. I'm not a dog trainer. This is just personally what I do. And I hope you guys have a great day. I might as well go a little bit longer so I get like a 10-minute in, because Ted's being a good boy. And isn't he the most beautiful boy? He's so tiny. Ted's about 7.5 months old. I'm going to head back to the house now. And he's a very well-mannered, well-behaved dog. He's a real goofball. He's a lot like, he's a good mixture of his parents, I think. He's a silly dog and also can be kind of serious. So I think it's a good mix. He's not overly one way or another. Ted, come. Good boy. And I'm not too worried about, like, this is his first time. This is his first time out off-leash walking right now, since he's been a puppy. So I'm not overly concerned with, like, you might notice that he like comes to me, but he kind of maybe wanders by me, or all I want is for him to come to me. That's all I want. I'm not super strict with my dogs anyways. Like I said, I'm not a trainer. All I want is to be able to go out and enjoy time with my dogs and make sure that they're not running away or chasing animals or whatever. So that when I go, Ted, come. See that? See that? That's exactly, I just stimmed him with a vibrator. That's exactly what I was talking about. You see that look of like, maybe I will come, maybe I won't, maybe I'm going to do my own thing. You get that teenage look in their eyes, and that's when you break out the magical e-collar. Perfect demonstration, Ted. But like I was saying, I'm not too worried about, like, all I want is my dogs to be around me and understand that when I tell them to come to me, that's a 100% come to me. Whatever you're doing, whatever you think you're doing, whatever you want to do is irrelevant. What's relevant is I'm asking you to come to me. That's it. And whether that's right here or here or here, I don't care. As long as they have removed themselves from whatever situation they were in that I didn't want them in, or they were too far away or whatever, and they have now come to me. Some people get more strict with that stuff. Some people do more training. I'm not that kind of person. I just like to enjoy my dogs. Kind of just a normal guy with a lot of dogs, and that's how I do it. Right, Teddy? I started incorporating the come when two things happened. One was my friend, Skyforger Pack, Lance. He says here, and I always thought that was interesting. He always, Lucian, Scarlet, here. He adds that here command. But what happened is my dog Apollo, he started to ignore his name. And at this time, I was not using an e-collar. I had not used an e-collar yet. And some of these breeds are very difficult with recall. He's Shikoku Spitz mix with Greyhound and stuff. Like, that's a dog that's going to want to run. That's a dog that's going to be harder to train and recall than other dogs, like a German Shepherd or a Malinois, who can have their own struggles and stuff, but generally they're a little bit more trainable and a little less stiff-headed than a Spitz breed dog, like a Husky or a Malamute, a Shikoku. So Apollo, he would not, all of a sudden, he reached about this age, and he wouldn't come, he wouldn't listen, which is very normal. And it just went on, and I thought, because you can ruin a command for your dog. If you don't back up a command, it ruins the command. So let's say every time your dog does something naughty, you say no, right? Got a reaction out of him. Sorry, Ted. You need to enforce that. If your dog's getting in the trash, you go, no, and you just let it, it's okay, Ted, you're not in trouble. If you just let it keep getting in the trash, that no means nothing now. You have not enforced the command, so it means nothing. So my concern was Apollo's name being used as a command to recall to me was ruined because it hadn't been enforced and it had been such a struggle and had been so hard to deal with. It was one of the hardest ones in my life, and one of the reasons why I got into e-collars. So I was worried it was ruined. So I'd go Apollo, and he wouldn't listen. So that meant nothing to him. It was just an empty word, just like the way I'm talking to you now. And Ted doesn't care. Ted doesn't care until I say something that is a familiar command to him, like no, or like Ted come, or something like that, right? I was trying to say it quiet so he didn't listen because I'm just trying to have casual conversation. But words mean nothing to dogs until they're created and turned into commands. So I was worried that the name Apollo was ruined. The command of it was ruined. So I decided to add come. Good boy. Because to fix that. So then it was Apollo come. And then that was the command. And the e-collar obviously helped. But like I said, you have to enforce commands on your dogs. You cannot allow your dog to run amok and do whatever it wants. And then, oh, yeah, you need to come here. No, don't do that. No. Oh, you like that baby voice? That's why a lot of these people have hard times with dogs, especially difficult dogs. He sees that. Oh, come. Hey, come. Well, that's why you keep an e-collar on them all the time. Exhibit A. Exhibit A. What a perfect demonstration this video has been. So yeah, that's a problem because that'll fuck your dog up. And you may, depending on how bad it is, you might have to go to the vet. You're gonna have to spend the day pulling out splinters, whatever the case may be. But the Porcupine saga continues. It's a little teeny one. Have a good day, sweetheart. Climb high and stay away from my dogs, please. A lot of people tell me to kill them, but I don't believe in killing things for no reason. So if I have to pull a couple quills out, that's not a reason to end a life, in my opinion. So climb high, buddy. Well, yeah, there's a perfect example of why you always have them on there. Come on. What was I saying? And that was actually, it was a poor example on my part because I kind of panicked and said like 10 different commands, I think. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check. But because I thought he was looking at a squirrel. And I thought, oh, it's cute looking at a squirrel. And then I saw it was a friggin' porcupine up on the tree. And then I had to panic. Because a lot of times the word that I use for no is hey. So I'll yeah, because that's the first thing that comes to my mind. But it doesn't matter what words you use as long as you enforce them. And he listened. He did need a stimulation. He didn't want to come off that porcupine. Just a little vibration. Came right back. So yeah, this is a video on TED, e-collars, what not to do, what to do. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. You're going to come say goodbye? Yeah, good boy. Say goodbye. Goodbye, YouTube.